the thing with Kenya is there can be so many scandals that we can forget very easily that there was about 7 billion shillings of taxpayer money that seems to be just floating somewhere in the air in this edible oil scandal. And now one of the figures who was at the Kenya National Trading Corporation, and she was let me get the title correctly, in charge of strategy, risk and compliance at the Kenya National Trading Corporation, and heavy emphasis on that compliance part, has now been appointed as the managing director of the Kenya National Trading Corporation in some very odd circumstances that seem a bit rushed and especially pushed for by the CS for Trade, who is Salim Mvurya.
Name in question, Lucy Mugadzika Anangwe. She was appointed as the new managing director of KNTC, despite that is on November 6, 2024, and the appointment was made by Trade and Industry Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya, despite an ongoing investigation into a 6 billion edible oil scandal involving KNTC. Now, her appointment raised concerns due to perceived transparency issues in the selection process.
That's right. Board members had already expressed concerns about the appointment process. And Maureen Dwalo, who is KNTC's acting general manager for corporate services, sent a memo announcing her appointment either way and urged all KNTC staff to vacate their offices for Miss Anangwe's team to have a seamless transition. Now, does that mean that they've all lost their jobs? I don't know. What does vacate their offices means? Now, there's also a special audit going on by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and looking into how to recover 10.7 million shillings that was allegedly misappropriated by the KNTC. But that's a small fraction of this 6 billion shillings that was part of this edible oil scandal when Miss Lucy was in charge of risk and compliance.
Potato, hot potato here right now is unanswered questions in the query of the in the hurried appointment. One of them is, did CS Mvurya did not respond to multiple inquiries sent to him to his known phone number. The PS and Ms. Anangwe also did not respond to our queries right here at Nation. Among the issues we wanted were the CS to clarify whether they have knowledge of PS Kombundo's visit at the KNTC premises and whether he was aware of Ms. Debaso's advisory on suitability of Ms. Anangwe. So there's been a bunch of questions that we wanted to just know, and they reached out for comment, but none of them was able to respond either in good time or at all.
That's right. Of course, there's also the question of whether CS Mvurya and former PS Keombudo were aware of the KNTC board chair's advisory, like you said, that, they were uncomfortable with her appointment. And the fact that, was this a rushed thing to help skirt around the investigations?
Yeah.
Because if she is in charge of the KNTC, it does become a little bit harder to investigate her.
Why do we do this to ourselves? Because I remember once upon a time in this country, we had people who had very serious criminal cases leveled against them, and they still made it to the top office. Also,
they did, yeah.
We also are looking at appointments, and it's as though in this country, when you have a scandal, you're most likely going to get an elected position or you're going to get a very high profile job.
That's very, very true. While I don't know, for the regular person, if you're caught in any corruption case,
weiba sukari,
right to jail.
Watch out a corruption case, weiba sukari or iba kuku hapo nyumbani, uone vile utakaa jela for a long time. Well, those are some of the stories that we're